let's turn this mess of components into a linked and fed half wave. And you're gonna ask, why a linked and fed half wave? It's radiation, okay? Radiation. I know that I can take a 20 meter end fed half wave and use it on 15 and 10. And if I played it really well, I can take a 40 meter end fed half wave and use it on 40, 20, 15, and 10, right? Reality is that it changes radiation patterns, number one, and number two, I have yet to get a 40 meter end fed half wave built that works all the way down to 10. And since I want, for the most part, an omnidirectional pattern, especially when I'm up, a few thousand feet in the air, what I want to do is I want to build it linked so that I can put the elements in that I want for the specific jump and then remove them when I don't want those or need those anymore, right? The less cable I have to spool out in a jump, the more contacts I stand to make, because setting up and taking down takes time. To that end, I set up some measurements for each band, 6 meters, 10 meters, 12 meters, and 15 meters, and you see that we are missing 20. Well, guess what? I have a Pactena end fed half wave that I can use for 20, and we're missing 40. I have my KM4ACK already set for 40. In this, I want to set up two different antennas that are end fed half wave that are linked. One for 6 and 12, and one for 10 and 15. And yes, I could link 6 to 10 and then 10 to 12 and then 12 to 15, but that's more convoluted than I want. What I want is to be able to go, okay, I'm gonna go do a 15 meter jump, just grab the 15 meter end fed half wave. Or I wanna do a 6 meter jump and grab the 6 meter end fed half wave. I don't wanna be fiddling around with linking, unlinking, and all the feed and whatnot. I wanna minimize that. So here we are. Measurements for each band overall. Now keep in mind that these are ideal measurements. These are, fantasy measurements. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut wire to meet these, and then I'm going to set them up in such a way that they can interact with each one of these two end feds. A ring terminal for the Reliance and a bullet terminal for the transformer that K6ARK built for me. He sells these as a kit on Amazon. I'll put a link down in the doobly-doo, and I'll put a link to the Reliance transformer also down in the doobly-doo. But basically, I'm going to set one up for 10 and 15, and the other one is going to be set up for 6 and 12. I might even get fancy and go all the way to 17 with it, but baby steps, okay? To that end, I'm going to be using some silicone wire, 18 gauge, Y18 gauge, a little bit more bandwidth. Not a ton, but, and then the links are going to happen using these plastic carabiners I got from Amazon. Again, affiliate links down in the description. One way I can get this done is by feeding the wire through the carabiner and then using the carabiner for strain relief on the system, right? And then just tying the two pieces together, with the joins there. My elements for 6 and 12 are cut. I got ahead of myself and put an end on the 6, so I'm gonna have to cut that off in the field and put a different one after I tune it. I'll deal with that later. Until I have time to make a proper label, I'm gonna use painter's tape for this. Well, I got ahead of myself. I didn't record any of this, but basically I have my Gigadude mast set up, holding the feed point and the transformer, going to my spider beam. It's 6 meters, it's not very far, right? 9 feet for the half wave. But this is where we start with a tune. Let's see where we are. This is where having multiple tools that can do the same job comes in handy. I was having a hard time reading my NanoVNA out here in the field, so 705 will do the trick. Let's look at here. We're gonna start back. Everything is high as you might expect. Let's go up to there. The VNA would give me a little bit more because I'm able to stimulate it past the band limit, where I can't do that with my 705. But if I can't read the VNA, I just have to, you know, make do with what I have. I know it's long, so I'm just gonna trim, I'll start with 6 inches and work my way back. Trimmed up, time to play this again. Still high. Still high after trimming about 6 inches. We'll trim another 6. 3 inches trimmed. Let's try it again. I was really hoping to see some change on this by now. Another 3. So we've trimmed a foot off the antenna by now. Let's try this. Not quite. Time to trim some more. Starting to think that the AH705 may be the ticket for 6 meters, because this is not helping. I've trimmed, trust me when I say this, I've trimmed close to, actually right at 2 feet of line so far, and not getting any closer to a tune on 6. Let's see if I can actually get it even close. I think now I'm just gonna have to suck it up and try the VNA again, because I'm obviously not getting very far with this. So even after going back to the NanoVNA, I couldn't find a resonant point for 6 meters. And now I'm thinking maybe transformer just isn't capable of doing it. But here we have the extension to 12. Let's put it on the air and see if we can get at least 12 tuned in. Don't know how well it's gonna show, but 12 meters. Finding a dip of 1.3 to 1 at 25 megahertz, 25.2 megahertz. So we are long. Our target is 24.9, and at 24.9, as close as I'm gonna get it, I'm getting 1.3. This actually should be workable. Let me put it on the radio and see what we get. I'm aiming for 24.95. Yeah. Let's see what we have at 24.95. We're bracketing it. You know, that is with no trimming to the element that I cut at home. The 3 feet or so that I cut off for trying to tune 6 meters gave me the cuts that I needed to get to where I needed to be on 12 meters. Hey, look, better lucky than skilled. One down, a couple elements to go. Here is a look at the setup. It's overblown, of course. Transformers there. And I'm setting it up as almost a vertical at this point in time. It's very sloped. But you see the junction for 6 and 12 there, and then the tip of the mast way up there, if I can focus. There we go. And the idea is to try to get this off the ground as much as possible so that I can sort of replicate what the conditions are up in the sky. First attempt on 10 meters, and we're getting 2.5 to 1 at 28.8 megahertz, which was, well, just 28.84, which is close enough to my targeted frequency. Here's 28.8, getting 2.5 to 1. So I gotta trim it up a bit. Trimmed 6 inches, and we're down to 1.8 at the desired frequency. Yeah, I'm gonna trim it a little bit more. Total of 9 inches trimmed from the original wire length of 16.25 feet. So you take 9 inches off of that, and we are at 1.7 to 1 on the desired frequency, or actually below the desired frequency. Let's go to the desired frequency here, 28.8. 1.77, call it 1.8. Good enough, on to 15 meters. Now that 10 is done, I can put the connector on the end so we can match it up with a 15 meter extension. Sorry, I'm talking with a connector in my mouth while I'm nice and snug. Now that I have one terminator, you can see how this is all gonna work out, right? This is the one coming off the 10 meter element. I'm gonna link these two together so the strain on the connection is there, and then these two match up, and I'm able to link the elements while having strain relief on both ends Time to put this up and get it tuned in. So on 15 meters, we're aiming for 21,225. Let's get down to 21,230. It's the closest I'm gonna be able to get on the VNA, and look at that. 1.2, call it 1.3 to 1. I'm gonna leave that alone. That's good enough. Again, plenty good enough for what I need to do. It's getting late. The wife is waiting for me for dinner, so I wanna activate using these antennas some other time. On this one, we'll catch you guys on the next one, 7.3.